I, male 55, just pulled the pin on my retirement. I put in 33 years of work, and I'm done. I bought property in South America 12 years ago and have been building our retirement home there. I have dual citizenship, so I can own property without it being a hassle. The house was designed perfectly for us. We have a pool, a small house for the caretaker/gardener, and 34 different fruit trees. The bathroom's up to North American standards, and the shower has grab bars and stuff already built in for when I'm old. Everything's on one level, so there are no stairs. My wife helped by making suggestions for the house's design and by decorating it. We've been vacationing there for 8 years and renting it out when we aren't there for some extra money. We've hosted friends and family there, both with us there and on their own. My wife has now decided that she doesn't want to live there for 7 months of the year. We have grandkids now, and she wants to be more involved in their lives. I love my kids and grandkids, and my parents, who also live up here, but I am done with winter. If I never see snow again, it'll be too soon. The house has guest rooms and flights are cheap. If they want to see me in the winter, they're all welcome to come down. Plus, I'll be back for 5 months in the summer to do some contract work. I'll see everyone then. My wife said she didn't want to go down this winter, and that's absolutely her right. I booked my flight for September, and she asked me about the expense on the credit card. I said I was leaving for the winter, like I had told everyone I was planning to do. That was when she said she didn't want to go this winter, meant she didn't want us to go this winter. I said that I was going, and I'd see her in the spring, unless she changed her mind and came down. Now she, my parents, and my kids are bugging me about leaving her alone for the winter. It's 100% her choice. Edit. She's known since we started dating 35 years ago that this was my plan. She went with me to purchase the land. She helped me work out the budget for the building. She bought all the furniture and decorations for the house. She planned the landscaping. Please explain to me how I could have better communicated to her that I was planning on retiring down there. OP, her priority changed. Yours stayed the same. Not the idiot. You can't force her to live there, but she can't force you to live where you don't like. This will be a problem for the rest of your life. She has grandbabies, and many grandparents don't want to miss out on the growth and fun of grandbabies. Married people make compromises for each other. There's a middle ground where they spend 3 of the worst winter months in the South together, and then OP heads back alone for a couple of weeks here and there throughout the year. People are allowed to change their minds about where they want to live long term. The wife isn't an idiot because she became more attached to her grandkids than she anticipated. Yeesh. Wait, did she know he was going to retire 11 years early? Are you even retired if you're still coming back to work 5 months a year? Also, buying a ticket to South America and not telling your wife until she sees it on a credit card statement is generally considered to be bad communication. My dad pulled this move with the same reasoning. Flights are cheap. Come visit. I haven't seen him in 6 years. He hasn't met his granddaughter. You're retired and have loads of free time. They don't. Expecting your family to spend what little free time they have carting their kids to South America so you can still be present in their lives is beyond selfish. If you're okay with choosing yourself over your family, then go for it. That's your prerogative. But in my opinion, it makes you the idiot. You chose to have a family. Now you're choosing to ditch them unless they spend the effort to come to you. Enjoy retirement. It might cost you your family. Yeah, things changed, dude. 35 years ago, I bet you didn't think grandkids would anchor your wife, but here you are. My mom had planned a big move to Tennessee from Illinois. I bought a house and cars and moved all this stuff, ready to move in, until my daughter was born. Now she's selling the house in Tennessee, as she can't imagine living without being involved in her life. Hopefully, snowbirding won't crash your relationship. Best of luck. My youngest son, Ian, teen, and his boyfriend, Keith, teen, snuck out to a party Saturday night and apparently got pretty wasted. They managed to reach my oldest son, Joseph's, 20, apartment around 4 a.m. Instead of calling me or having Keith call his parents, he instead let them sleep it off at his house. And I didn't get a call, till sometime around 10 that morning from Joseph's girlfriend to come pick them up. I was furious. After picking up the boys, giving them a good talking to, and dropping Keith off at his parents', I called Joseph and asked him why he didn't call Keith's parents, or me, the moment they showed up, or took them home himself. He tells me that it was better they slept it off there, and he had to go to work at 7 in the morning. I screamed at him that it wasn't his decision, and I'd been worried sick, waking up in the morning and not knowing where Ian was, and he should have called me, or the other father. Joseph tried to get me to calm down and told me that this was what he was trying to avoid, me blowing up at Ian. This got me hot. I yelled at him that I couldn't care less what he was trying to avoid, that I was the dad, and that he should have called me because anything could have happened. He tried to apologize, and I just told him I'd talk to him later. Ian ran up to his room after we got home, but not before saying Joseph was just trying to protect him and that I really went way overboard on him, calling him at work like that. Am I the idiot for screaming at my oldest because he didn't call me when his brothers showed up at his apartment at 4 in the morning? Parent to parent, you are the idiot. Your temper and anger have fostered fear and resentment in your kids. They don't trust you in those situations, and your oldest felt they needed to be protected from you. Your anger is most likely fear, masquerading as anger. Try being honest about how scared and fearful you were for the boys. Also, probably time to consider some therapy to help with your communication skills. OP's kids are so scared of him that they'd go to a great extent to avoid confrontation with them. OP's worry for kids should not translate to blatant yelling. Joseph didn't call because he didn't want to get his intoxicated brother to be sent to you for getting yelled at. He didn't call in the morning because he knew how you would react to this, and hence the girlfriend picked up the tab. And lo and behold, you did exactly what they thought you would do: scream. Hysterical anger is rarely the right way to respond to something that your kid has done, especially if it's something relatively normal or mundane, something that's a normal part of growing up. Kids do dumb things, and parents are there to teach them right from wrong and consequences of their actions. Your children don't feel comfortable coming to you. All you're teaching them is to avoid you at all cost. Also, you are the idiot for calling the oldest at work. Joseph is an adult and can make those decisions. It's his house. It's his decision. Your inability to keep your son in your home is your issue. I wouldn't be doing anything at 4 a.m. besides opening the door and finding a bucket. Grow up, dude. My wife is 34 weeks pregnant, and throughout this whole pregnancy, her two consistent cravings are fresh mango and strawberries. I always keep them stocked in the fridge because I know she will 100% get up in the middle of the night and go straight to the fridge looking for those items. The amount of joy she gets from these two pleasures is insane. She generally is good-natured anyhow, but seeing that I stock the fridge with these two snacks and showing how much I care makes her love me even more. Her words. My sister, 46, asked to stay with us for a few weeks because she and her husband were on the rocks and she had nowhere else to go. I asked my wife about it, and she said that it was fine as long as they were gone by the time she had the baby, which I agree with. I told my sister, and she said she would be gone before then. We weren't even charging her rent or anything. My only stipulation was that they buy all their own food because my wife and I tend to eat rather healthily, and it gets expensive quickly, so we can't cook meals together. She agreed to the terms. It didn't even take 3 days for my sister and my niece, tween, to eat every bit of fruit I had stocked in the fridge for my wife. The first time around, I told them simply to not touch the fruit. My sister apologized, and that was the end of it. However, a few more days go by, and I notice again that the fruit is gone. I asked my sister about it, and she said it must have been my niece, and she would speak to her. But yesterday, I came home after an appointment with my wife, ultrasound, and there's my sister, dipping the strawberries into a case of sugar and eating them while scrolling her phone. My wife immediately looked defeated and said, "I'm just going to go lay down." She looked extremely hurt. My sister says, "I only had 2. and tries defending her actions, and I tell her at this point that she needs to leave. She started scolding me. "You're kicking me and your niece out? Over fruit? Are you serious?" So I said yes and told her she had an hour to get her stuff and leave. I'm being told by several people that I overreacted. My sister needed me during her hard time, and I proved that family means nothing over food. Am I the idiot? For context, she gets food stamps, so she has EBT to get her own fruit if she so chooses. She just never did. Not the idiot. You're not kicking her out over fruit. You're kicking her out because she has no respect for you, your wife, or your very reasonable and clearly stated boundaries. There are a few things I hate more than when people try to trivialize your reasonable boundaries with comments like that. It's not about the fruit. It's about the fact that you set one boundary and they willfully and repeatedly disrespected, disregarded, and violated it. I can see why your sister's having problems with her husband. She sounds incredibly immature, especially for being in her 40s. Those people that are saying you're overreacting, thank them for offering to take your sister in. Let it get awkward. Sister and niece have been caught twice before stealing food. This was the third time. They did not reimburse OP for what they stole, nor did they replace what they stole. So, time for some consequences. I, female 26, met my fiancé, male 26, in college, along with our two best friends. We'll call them John, male 26, and Holly, female 26. They've also been together since college, like me and my fiancé. So we've been inseparable since going on double dates and trips together and have had a fantastic time post-college. My fiancé proposed to me last year, and it's all been very exciting. Wedding planning has been stressful and exciting. Holly's my bridesmaid, and John is my fiancé's best man. Our wedding is in February next year, and while planning last night, John came over to our house and said that he wanted to propose to Holly. Me and my fiancé were over the moon for him, and I was excited for another wedding. So I asked him when he plans to propose, and that we'd be down to help with the proposal and everything. He smiled and then said that he was thankful and said that he'd love to propose to Holly at our wedding. Before I said anything, he showed me a video of a bride giving her bridesmaid her bouquet instead of tossing it, and then the man proposing. He then said I'd love to do something like this. I was sort of speechless, as was my fiancé. He then asked us if that would be okay. I took a deep breath and said, "No, John, it wouldn't be okay. As much as I love you and Holly, and am more than happy that you guys are getting engaged, I don't want that done at my wedding, but I'd be more than happy to help you plan a separate event, and I think Holly wouldn't be too thrilled to get proposed to at someone else's wedding." Holly had told me before that she found people who got engaged at people's weddings tacky. I told him that, but he wouldn't budge. He got angry and said that we're being selfish by not allowing him this one small favor, and if the roles were reversed, he'd say okay in a heartbeat. I reiterated to him that Holly wouldn't want this, and she'd want her own event. He kept saying, "You're lying. You just don't want us to be engaged. You just want all the attention to yourselves." This is where I might feel like I'm an idiot. I blew up at him and called him tacky and cheap. I said our families are not shelling out thousands for you to propose at our wedding. It's embarrassing. You can propose to Holly even a day after, or the day before, or even the day of, but just not at my wedding or venue. Holly will cringe and find it embarrassing. He said he didn't think he'd been friends with such selfish people and rude people for all these years. My fiancé reiterated everything I'd said, and then my fiancé told him to leave, and he left. Now it's awkward. Holly has no idea what happened, and we all had a trip booked for next month, and now I don't want to go. I'm very upset with John, and he hasn't apologized. I don't know what to tell Holly. I don't want to lie to her, but I don't want to ruin the surprise of her possible proposal. Some of me feel bad, but I want to stick to my guns. Not the idiot. John's idea is tacky. You and your husband should be the only focus on your wedding day. Holly wouldn't even like it. There were literally no upsides to this. I understand he's bummed his first idea wasn't a hit, but he needs to get over it and return to the drawing board. If I were OP, I would find a way to bring up the subject of people who propose at other people's weddings when all 4 of them are together and ask Holly what she thinks of them and egg her on. Let John hear it for himself without saying anything about him proposing to Holly. Maybe then he'd listen. That has the possibility of a massive backfire. What if Holly doesn't see or says she doesn't see a problem with proposing at other people's weddings? What if Holly says positive things about that sort of proposal because she thinks that's what OP wants to hear at the moment? Only play this sort of game when you know for sure the outcome. OP doesn't want this, and that should be enough. My 22 female, girlfriend 22, was invited to a high school friend's 22 female wedding. The couple asked for cash wedding gifts only, so most guests would pay $200, while some could pay $100, 10 available spots. My girlfriend asked the bride if there was room for a +1, and the bride said she could bring me if I paid $200 for my attendance, not as a wedding gift. My girlfriend is upset with me because she went through the trouble of asking the bride if it was possible and thought I would be happy with this. I didn't ask for my girlfriend to do this. My girlfriend initially told me I was invited because she assumed she would get a +1, but I wasn't invited, and she felt bad about it. I don't blame her or the couple because weddings are expensive. It would cost the couple $200 per person for the wedding. The bride isn't happy with me because my girlfriend told her I wanted to attend and thought it was cheap of me only to back out now that I had to pay to attend. My girlfriend says there's no difference between being invited to a wedding and giving a $200 wedding gift like everyone else and being invited if I pay for my seat up front, especially since I would have given the same amount as a wedding gift if I was invited initially, and the end result would be the same. We give a total of $400. To me, it felt like an entrance fee that only I have to pay. Am I the idiot for not wanting to attend the wedding because I was asked to pay? Edit. She didn't get a +1 because the couple can't afford to have any +1s at their wedding. My girlfriend is also willing to pay the $200, but I'm not comfortable with that either because she doesn't have an income currently. The bride insists that my girlfriend goes because she previously decided not to attend. My girlfriend didn't want to go alone, especially since she'll have to crash at my place since it's far for her. The bride told her it was rude not to attend, so my girlfriend feels more obligated to go now. Not the idiot. I wouldn't go to a wedding where the gift amount was dictated. This is wild. Getting people to pay to attend your wedding and then demanding a cash gift? Wow. People are freaking outrageous and entitled. If you can't afford to get married, then don't. I'll be darned if I pay to attend a wedding. It's not a gift if you have to instruct me on what to give. What if their close relative couldn't afford to pay $100 or $200 to attend? So sorry, Grandma, but if you can't pay $100, you can't attend. Also, the bride is upset that you cheaped out. Are you sure they paid $200 a guest? Because it sounds like it might be $100, and she was hoping to score another $100 and is upset that you're not complying with her plan. Also, I feel like they would have absolutely expected a wedding gift from you as well, on top of the $200 attendance fee. You're not the one choosing to have an expensive wedding, where there are plenty of other options that don't break the bank, to the point you have to worry about money taken from your party guest. Why should a guest have to make up the cost of your wedding? As a female, I would never, and I find it gross. Also, most normal weddings always have a +1. Tell your girlfriend not to feel bad. Most men who personally don't know the bride and groom are only attending for the food and alcohol anyways. She can take you to a restaurant for a quarter of the price later.